In this era of grave spiritual crisis, it is not enough to simply know about your Catholic faith. That is why we need a Catholic toolbox to equip us with the practical skills necessary to live our Catholic faith to reach our ultimate goal, which is heaven for all eternity. Do not merely listen to the word and so deceive yourselves. Do what it says. Join us every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. for the Catholic Toolbox as we hand you the tools to go forth, live the faith, and change our modern world today. Live on the Voice of Charity. And welcome back to another week on the Catholic Toolbox, the Art of Practical Catholicism. I'm your host and founder, George Manassa, here as we equip you with practical tools to live your Catholic faith in our modern world of today. And this week, we're going in from a different perspective, from the perspective of founder of Giovanni Portelli Photography, none other than the famous Giovanni Portelli. Welcome aboard.
You're unbelievable, George. Thank you very much.
Yes.
This is unreal. This is unreal. Congratulations on this whole amazing setup.
Welcome to the Catholic Toolbox, home of the Catholic Toolbox here in the studio.
I'm quite amazed at what we can pull together.
It's, finally we have got you in studio.
This has been it's been a long time coming. A long time coming, George. So thank you very much for having me on.
We've been trying to get you through last year, but you know, timing.
Well, it's I get busy a lot.
Why do you get busy? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh my gosh!
And what keeps you busy? I think for many of those who unfortunately do not know Giovanni, who have not seen Giovanni pouncing around through the masses and the great Catholic events, tell people. Who are you, Giovanni?
Okay,
from your perspective, and where do you who do you work for?
Who do I work for? That is a question I get asked often. Who am I? Primarily, I'm a dad, George. I'm a dad.
Right answer.
And that has a lot of responsibilities and a lot of things in that whole realm. Secondly, I'm a photographer and husband. So yes, that is what takes up a lot of my time. And then there's the whole Catholic universe of Sydney and of agencies upon agencies within the Archdiocese and that need photography of events from the schools through to the Archdiocese, through to all the agencies throughout, and then there are also the weddings, the baptisms, all the seven sacraments that all need to be photographed.
Yes.
That I come across.
And I consider you personally my photographer. I consider you personally. You've been there a lot of the great events of my life.
Key moments, George.
Key moments.
Well, someone's got to do it.
Someone's got to do it. You know, we have a great connection there. So.
I think the way that our lives have intersected many times, I think, reflects the Sydney Catholic experience. I think
that's right. Yeah,
I think that's it. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
Where it's
a great way to describe it.
From street protests to prayer processions, rosary processions, through to
conferences
and other just
dramas and great events and book launches.
Indeed, yep,
book launches, including my book launch with.
I think a lot of these events, and I always say this to everyone, just generally, and even being specific, are just more pages in the Catholic experience of Australia, the Australian Catholic experience, and what takes up my time is all these things, and participating in all these things, documenting it and seeing it unravel and evolve. But I think, as I tell a lot of people this, if we don't photograph this, or document this, then in 100 years' time, what is the Catholic community of Australia in the year 2100 going to look back at? What are they going to look back at? What have we given them? What gifts have we left behind? What treasures have we left behind? Have we given them just Instagram photos of people drinking milkshakes, or have we given them something actually?
Or TikTok?
Don't even get me started. But we need to leave behind a good body of work that documents and shows these are the things that we did. These are the things we've done. Gigantic street processions.
And part of introducing yourself to those who unfortunately don't know you.
Oh, yeah.
Who haven't had the pleasure of meeting Giovanni. You are the founder of Giovanni Portelli Photography. So where can people find you to start with?
Oh, well, look.
If they want to hire you for events.
If they were looking me up, I'm easily found on Facebook, Instagram, the web.
The website is
through giovanniportelli.com.au. Look me up on Instagram, Giovanni Portelli Photography.
Definitely check him out.
Facebook, Giovanni Portelli Photography. It's just same name.
You're not just a photographer. You give a great aesthetic to your brand.
Yes, there is a definite aesthetic.
I think, if we were to summarize your aesthetic as Giovanni Portelli Photography, it would be in this.
Well, look, let's just say there are reasons for this.
Yes.
And look, a few years ago, before the pandemic, before all that, I was just my clothes have a certain look about it. I've got a definite aesthetic, and that's tactically Catholic. Yes, tactically Catholic. And when I'm on assignment, when I'm right in the middle of something that is about to happen, you just need to have stuff on you to work. You need to have.
So you have that combat theme.
Well,
you have a combat aesthetic that you provide.
Look, we could say that. We could also say, always ready. Always, you got to be ready on site. You got to be ready when the situation happens, because you never know when you get the phone call that something's breaking, something's happening, and you just got to get out there. Whether it's protests happening, in the same hour, and you got to drive out from wherever I am to wherever I need to be. Just be ready, always ready. Yeah. Semper, was it? I think Semper Paratus. I think is the Latin.
That's correct.
Always ready.
Always ready.
Is it? Yeah. Always. Yeah. And so gas masks. Oh my gosh! Just I've got quite a few. I bought all my stuff way before the pandemic as well. Yeah. Way before the pandemic, and it was partly just because I like collecting a bit of militaria. And also from a practical point of view, I like to have things with lots of pockets where I can put things, memory cards or bits of the camera that I need to store around. And then gas masks was like this whole other dimension of air filtration that I felt a great need for this. But then we had all these bushfires and they became so useful. It was just so handy.
That was the start of 2020, before the craziness of COVID kicked in.
Before all that, the bushfires were having.
I remember seeing a beautiful video on Facebook of you going to the supermarket, going to the mall in your gas mask. Can you imagine? You might have seen Giovanni around Auburn. Walking around with a gas mask, getting his morning milk or orange juice for breakfast.
Groceries. And people were laughing. People were laughing, but on site, people were asking, "Oh, hey, where'd you get that from? How much? How much was that? That's going to be useful." And then when the pandemic came around, oh man, it was I'd go into shopping centres. I mean, just for fun. But everyone's wearing like something.
Yeah.
Everyone's wearing something. You know what? If you're going to go into a pandemic,
You got to look
be
like
prepared.
you're in a pandemic.
Look as if you're going to be in a pandemic. Be prepared.
I'm surprised you didn't wear. All you were missing with your whole aesthetic was a black jumpsuit.
Well,
That's all you
because
needed.
that's because George, I actually have a Russian hazmat.
Oh, really?
Yeah. A full body,
It gets even better.
a full body Russian hazmat. Bought before the pandemic.
Excellent.
It was crazy. Imported from, I think it departed from like the Ukraine, like in late 2019.
Yeah.
And I photographed a 40th in it because it was 80s themed. So I went.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
I went dressed as a Chernobyl cleaner. Like in the
That's right.
in the reactor, and then it was a Lebanese 40th, and everyone was asking, "Oh, are you a Ghostbuster?" Like, no, I'm not a Ghostbuster. No, I'm from Chernobyl, from 1986 Chernobyl. They're like, "Oh, you look like a Ghostbuster." Like, no, this is definitely I'm a genuine article.
And you include a bit of this.
Oh yeah. So I did a whole 40th in a hazmat suit, far beyond the amount of time that you're supposed to be in a hazmat suit for.
Yeah.
You're only supposed to wear them for not 4 hours. And
Wow.
if you were doing your work
Yeah.
in a radioactive environment, or you cap it at an hour.
Yeah.
And then you get out of it and you have a shower. You got to decontaminate.
Yeah.
I did 4
Redress
hours
it.
of heavy duty party photography. And the water, the sweat had built up because the whole thing's sealed, George. The whole thing's sealed.
Oh.
The sweat had built up.
So the amount of sweat that would have been there.
You're not supposed to do that. I mean, I don't read Russian, but that's just what happens.
That's just a bit of an insight into Giovanni Portelli, and we'll get more into the other tactical equipment that we've brought here. I know I've brought my one. It needs a bit of rust and
You need
corrosion
Solvo.
management.
That's what you would use.
That's,
I'd go over that with Solvo.
Oh, you would?
WD-40.
Oh, that'd be a great idea. I might have you actually look at that.
But
What motivates you from a faith perspective?
Oh, look.
To do what you do?
Yeah, look, motivation.
Because you capture a lot of great liturgies, sacred moments.
Yep.
And you have a very strong faith.
Yes.
What motivates you to get up in the morning and do what you do as a photographer? I know many people would have seen you around, read you on Facebook. We want to get into what motivates you from the faith perspective.
George, what I would say is, what motivates me is that, I love Catholicism. I love the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit.
And give us a bit about your story, maybe a bit about your background, actually.
Okay, so there's a lot of my love comes from how I came into all this.
Yeah.
And when I was a teenager, I was conscripted to be an altar server.
Conscripted
to be an altar server at St. James Forest Lodge, Glebe. And of the 6 that went in, I was the only guy that stayed after a year, probably even less than that.
Yep.
Because everyone else just
At
dropped
what
off.
age was this?
I was 14.
14 years old. Okay.
Yeah. So from 1 to age 14, I was on this side of the altar with my mum, my sisters.
Going to Sunday Mass. And you were practicing family that went to Sunday Mass.
Yeah. My mum would take us to St. James Forest Lodge.
And you lived in the...
Glebe.
You lived in Glebe, yeah.
Yeah, so we'd walk the 5 minutes and we were at church. So for 14 years, I was on one side of the altar.
Yeah.
And then for the next 14, I was on the other side.
Excellent.
Yeah,
so you crossed through the sanctuary.
Yeah. So when I was 14, I was recruited to be an altar server, and I'm on the other side of the altar.
Yeah, you were conscripted.
Yeah,
you were conscripted.
Exactly.
That's
right.
just a beautiful way to put it.
Well, look, I loved it because I knew everything there was to know about the Mass. I heard some great homilies and saw the parish of St. James parish of St. James, Forest Lodge, Glebe, changed from its diocesan priests to when the Dominicans came in.
The Dominicans took over, yeah.
Yeah,
Which
yeah,
is
yeah.
now the current Dominican priory in
Yep,
Sydney.
yeah. So, but when it was about 20, when World Youth Day came around in 2008, actually it was 2007, because this is the form work. You know,
Yes.
you don't just go to World Youth Day. You got to be part of the.
Yes. And how old were you there?
27.
27.
Yeah.
How old do you say? Excellent.
Oh wait, 26, I think.
26.
Yeah, 26. Because I got married 2 years after.
Yes.
2010. So, so my parish priest, Father Colin Fowler, I was part of the parish council.
Yes.
Youngest parish council member ever. I represented the youth.
I believe so.
So I represented the youth, okay? The youth at St. James, Forest Lodge, Glebe, in that era, the whole demographic was one person. It was me. It was me. So Father Colin Fowler said, look, Gio, there's this thing called World Youth Day coming up, and we need to have a youth representative. And the parish council has...
Thank God for the parish council.
has selected you to represent St. James, Glebe. But okay, great. What's World Youth Day? I'd never heard of.
Yeah.
I'd never heard of World Youth Day. No idea what it's all about.
Hopefully you got funded.
Zero.
Sponsored.
Nothing.
Oh.
Nothing. Nothing. It was in Sydney. This is 2008.
It was in Sydney.
Yeah. So, I went to the first. They had an Activate concert. So an Activate concert at St. Mary's Cathedral in November 2007. It's about 6-7 months ago.
Yeah.
And it was hosted by a guy called Vincent. Which camera am I at? Vincent Haver. And oh my gosh, my whole Catholic world just exploded. Like pretty much.
You were actually activated.
Yeah. Actually,
Don't you just love these
0
names?
to activation, like off, on, and like from growing up in St. James, Forest Lodge, Glebe, right? There's no youth. I was it.
Yeah.
So I didn't have any peers. There were no peers. Like I was supposed to bring a youth group to World Youth Day.
Yeah.
Like in 7 months' time. Yeah. There's no one here. There's no one here to bring in.
Well, the streets of Glebe.
What am I going to do? You can actually physically catch people Borat style. No, you can
pop up. I don't know. You could do it. You know those pop up random flash mobs. There you go.
A flash mob. No. I needed a flash mob, but there was no flash mob. There's no one. There's no one coming. So I'd go. So I went along to these events, and somehow found myself to be the World Youth Day pilgrim leader, St. James Forest Lodge Glebe, St. James Forest Lodge Glebe, pilgrim group leader of group of one, and got myself as the World Youth Day homestay coordinator for like the Inner West, of which okay,
homestay coordinator.
So do you know? Have you any idea what this involves?
Look, I've never been to World Youth Day myself, but I do recall that my school, we did have to clear out the classrooms
for people
to stay in there.
Yeah. Well, okay, so in the Inner West, the Archdiocese, George, was going to put people from overseas and put them into put them into people's houses who signed up to say, how many bedrooms do you have? Oh, we got 3. We're going to use 1. We can leave 2 rooms for the Archdiocese for World Youth Day for pilgrims to come in. So because I was in real estate at the time, I'd go in there, do a property inspection, and great, good to go. You seem like normal people. Yeah, okay. There's some room. You got all the
there's a fridge
proper facilities, and you're in. And then like I was coordinating. Like apparently,
what a job!
Oh my gosh!
What a job!
George, the things that happened, but from not knowing like any Catholics my age, like seriously, from not knowing any Catholics my age to like, oh my gosh, so many Catholics. I had no idea that this whole like social religious demographic even existed. And so my world went from like St. James Forest Lodge Glebe to, you know, massive, a huge increase. A lot of the people I met in those 6 months, 6 to 7 months to World Youth Day, and then afterwards, I'm still friends with, their families and the whole huge community.
And it's not just that; it's also experiencing the thousands of people.
Yeah! Oh my gosh! I mean, just to be able to from before World Youth Day, like, my whole dimension of faith was just Sunday Mass.
Yeah,
that's it. Like, it was
and maybe a prayer here and there.
Yeah,
not even maybe.
Well, you know,
grace before meals, or was it really? Yeah.
But
okay.
My whole dimension, like it was an hour. That was it. But that hour was like I got a lot out of that.
Okay.
Went from that to, oh my gosh, there's so much you can do. Like there was so much available, and the Archdiocese was making all this stuff available for people to enjoy, participate, believe, learn more.
Workshops.
Workshops. Theology of the body courses.
Latin
masses. Unbelievable. Whole new dimensions. Like I didn't even know who Maronites were previous to 2000.
You didn't know who Maronites were?
Previous to 2008. I didn't know you guys existed.
I think. we got to call it out and say I'm offended. You've offended a lot of Maronites.
I'm glad I discovered you.
Giovanni Portelli did not know who Maronites were before World Youth Day.
We weren't taught, okay? We had like zero dimension of any of this stuff. You gotta understand, like, oh man, like...
You became open-minded after World Youth Day.
I was like a Catholic explorer. It was like, it's crazy. So
you're the Catholic Indiana Jones. But just a bit more of you're a tactical Indiana Jones.
He should have had a lot more pockets with him and a lot more stuff. I'm just saying.
On a practicality level.
Practicality
I like that. We're here on the Catholic Toolbox. We want practical tools and.
But yeah. So it really went from.
So it really activated you.
Oh yeah. It was so. It was World Youth Day was the most single most instrumental. Project could ever do, you could ever be on, really genuinely transformative. I went from being socially inept, introvert, couldn't speak to people.
You were an introvert.
Yeah. Totally everything that you couldn't string a sentence together. That's ironic. But from being an introvert to an extrovert Catholic, being an extroverted person, meeting new people,
You became on fire for your faith.
Oh yeah,
further.
Totally.
So what changed for you on a spiritual level?
What changed for me on a spiritual level was that.
And a theological, maybe.
Well, yeah.
Did you grow knowledge of your faith?
Absolutely. What really changed was the fact that I had known so little about my faith from what I had. I mean, going to Sunday Mass is great. Great homilies are good, but without extra things to go to.
Yeah, that's right.
Without extra things, there wasn't anything extra. There was no.
I think that summarises the situation of most Catholics in the pews today in your average parish. That they go to Sunday Mass, they may get something out of it, but they don't. Apart from that, their faith isn't alive. They'll probably forget to pray or not pray much, or maybe grace before meals. It's just confined to that 1 hour. So you didn't have much to go to.
Yeah, precisely. Outside of that,
that was the problem.
My friends weren't at the same level as me.
Yeah.
Before all this.
Yes.
And through World Youth Day, I was able to meet dozens upon dozens, hundreds upon hundreds of new people that we're all existing simultaneously.
Yeah.
But I had no idea that we're all in the same situation.
That's right. Okay.
And things like Theology on Tap. Oh my gosh, what a powerhouse of a multi-dimensional theological, social, atmospheric, life-changing, meet new people.
Yeah.
Event to go to.
Yeah.
And it's just none of that was available before World Youth Day, and those things really opened up my my brain to understanding more about my faith. What did I not know about my faith? And
Okay.
the entire pro-life world didn't exist in me before 2008, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
Like we weren't taught any of that. We had my knowledge of
And you went to a
Catholic school.
Catholic
Yeah,
school.
we went through Catholic schools.
Yeah.
Zero Dimension, World Youth Day. Now I know. Oh my gosh. This is real. The pro-life issues are, is an entire thing that wasn't taught, wasn't discussed. No dimension about it.
Yep.
Meet Catholic friends who know what they're talking about. Go to Catholic events where genuine, heavy duty stuff can be discussed.
Staunch.
Bingo. 0 to 100. You got all that instantly.
Do you think the landscape, the faith landscape, was changed after 2008? World Youth Day. It just simply wasn't there, and then all these events started coming out. The World Youth Day, is that the case?
The World Youth Day was a real...
Because I was in year 8.
For I think the Sydney Catholic scene, for me, I think for a lot of people as well, like previous to World Youth Day, was just a desert. There was nothing to go to. Post World Youth Day, it was so good. It was a real golden age of stuff to go to.
Yeah. And 1 year later, I had my reversion because Tim Staples had come. And that changed the landscape. People started studying
unbelievable
apologetics. So we have things before, like Lumen Verum, Belfield, everything else. But when you have an event like World Youth, which brings people together and solidifies the theology, the community, and you have that aspect intertwined, it's powerful.
Tim Staples was really pivotal as well.
Yeah.
Having really I didn't know who he was. Here's Tim Staples. I don't know. I have no idea. I learned through someone that I met along the way, through Chabal Reish. There's this guy.
Big shout out to Parousia Media.
Unbelievable.
Yes. So you were catechized through a lot of the material.
Yeah. Oh,
there.
yeah. But hearing and seeing Tim Staples and others brought up through Parousia Media, through Chabal Reish, and Parousia Media, and seeing those events happen live, being able to photograph those things, be witness to this.
So you began photographing those things.
Oh well.
Okay, let's talk about the
oh my gosh. Okay.
Photography.
So November 2007, I go to this event called Activate. Giovanni Portelli is actually activated, right? I'm looking. I've been taking photos since I was 10.
Yes.
Yeah, I've been taking photos since I was 10. And my photographer.
So it was a natural hobby for you.
Oh yeah.
You love photos. You love capturing the moment.
Well, see, no. When every photo that I'd taken up to that point, it's pretty average.
Yeah.
It's pretty average.
Okay.
There's not much.
But why'd you take the photos?
So, I thought I'd go to this Activate concert. I'd bring my camera, just take a few snaps, try something different. I thought I'd try something different. I didn't photograph people before. I didn't photograph people much before 2007.
Yep.
I'd done a few parties. Photos were pretty average. They're okay, but they're average.
Yeah, that's right.
But when I went to that Activate concert at St. Mary's Cathedral, November 2007, I was looking around going, wow, this is amazing. This is amazing. I wonder if someone's taking photos. This would be a real great thing to document. This would be a real great thing to have a look at in the future, or even right now. So, at the same time, late 2007, two things were coming around in the world on the internet. This thing called the internet. One of them was I've been photographing for quite a while and putting photos on a website called Flickr.
Yes, Flickr. Yeah.
Putting photos on Flickr. Then another website was coming up. I was a bit skeptical of it. Facebook.
Okay. Yes. That's where Facebook really took off.
Yeah.
2007, 2008. Because we went off, what was it, MySpace and
Bebo.
I just watched people have MySpace and Bebo. I never got involved. I didn't like it.
Well, see, I was very skeptical. I was very skeptical of Facebook.
Yeah.
So I didn't tell any of my friends
Yeah, that's right.
that I had a Facebook account. Meanwhile, those friends, like from high school or from university,
Yeah.
you know, didn't have any Catholic friends on Facebook.
Yeah, that's right.
But November 2007, oh my gosh. Now I've got photos of this concert, of this Activate concert. It had testimonies, it had people talking, it was music, theology was involved. And I thought, I'll put some photos on Facebook, put some photos on Flickr. And my photos were starting to get noticed by Catholic communications at the Archdiocese.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
They were super interested in what was available. Well, they missed out. Like, they didn't send a photographer. They had,
You captured it.
Yeah, I got it.
There.
I was there. Got it straight up. Looked pretty good. It was my first,
And what happened from there?
Well, what happened from there was opportunity started to materialize. I would be attending more Catholic functions. Like, I was living in Glebe at home. I wasn't married yet. So a lot of that World Youth Day stuff was happening in the Inner West, at St. Mary's Cathedral. And I just go along, bring my camera, take a few snaps, get into it,
Yeah.
and make the photos available online. Hey, everybody, check it out. If you see yourself, tag yourself. What was it? It was like, I came with this phrase: comment, share, tag, repeat.
You still have it.
I still do.
You still do, yeah.
Well,
all the great events, the UCID Catholic Society
Yeah.
balls, I remember all those.
yeah.
There's always
Comment, share,
Giovanni.
tag, repeat.
There you go.
Easy. Just get yourself.
AXA.
So my photos started to get picked up. I was still working in corporate property real estate.
Yep.
And
Commercial property.
yeah, commercial
Yeah.
property.
It's taking a bit of a hit at the moment.
Well,
Yeah. Downsizing, shared office spaces.
yeah. But I mean, that also creates a lot of opportunities for other things.
Yeah.
So my photos started getting noticed.
Mm-hmm.
I was sort of in all the right places at all the right times. Facebook was growing exponentially.
Yeah.
A lot of the people who were into the Sydney Catholic scene were coming online. The networks were always starting to evolve.
Yeah,
Friendship
yeah.
groups.
So it's a very positive thing to have Facebook connect everybody.
Connect everyone.
And when people see photos, they see something going on. Where can we go? Events, everything else.
It's
Otherwise,
absurd, yeah.
looking back at Giovanni Portelli, the one guy at Glebe, if we had just had some social media and somebody saw it, and that could have been that connection for outside that 1 hour mass. It's a great thing.
Exactly. The great part about Facebook was connecting like-minded people, and even people that weren't of the same cut, same ilk,
That's right.
people of diversity. It gave everyone to look at these photos of what was going on and ask questions.
And that was 2007, 2008.
Yeah.
And then when did you start to professionally
Well,
do photography?
yeah, so professionally...
That's the interesting question that everybody wants
Yeah,
to know.
yeah. So
How did that transpire
to turn a hobby
into a church photographer?
into a full-time job.
Yeah.
Ha ha ha. To turn a hobby to a full-time job for anything, it doesn't matter what you are. You got to be good at it.
Yeah.
Like you just
Definitely,
You,
yeah.
you have to be.
Absolutely.
You have to be really good at it. I had been photographing. I got involved. We got more involved in church events, and by 2012, in my corporate work, I reached a point where I thought, I was applying for different roles within my company.
That's right.
Got one. I was going to change portfolios from North Sydney to Parramatta, and basically my bosses, my superiors in North Sydney said, "Oh, Gio, no, you're not." I said, "No, you're not. You've applied for it. You've won it from the other portfolio, but we're not going to let you go."
Okay.
Yeah.
That's an interesting story.
Yeah, we're not going to let you go. You're not transferring over there. No, you're going to stay right here.
Yep.
And was 2012, Christmas 2012, and I said, like I'd done enough photography. I'd already done a couple of weddings on the weekend, so I'd done a bit of weekend work. Some of it was paid, some of it was free.
Okay. So it started to build up.
Yeah, keep in mind, most of the photography from before World Youth Day, from before 2008 up to 2012, like a lot of it's free.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just the nature of, your skill building, your
and getting your name out there.
Yeah. That's all just business.
While you're working full time.
Yeah. So a lot of people do this. You run a full time job
gig, and then
you
allow the gig to take over when it spills over and it's no longer feasible.
So Well, for me, sometimes you just need to go commit to an idea.
Yep.
100%. So it was around about Christmas 2012. I applied for this job. My own bosses said, "No, you're not leaving." I said, "Okay, how about this? How about I quit? I'll quit this whole thing, because it's about time. Like you can't live, you can't work, you're not going to be happy if you're inside a company and organization that doesn't believe in its staff, in its people.
Okay.
If they can't let you develop yourself and keep you caged up to do that one task, when you want to do more, then that's time to go. I told
That's
HR,
a red flag.
Oh, yeah.
That's a red flag.
I told HR, I told my bosses, told my superiors, everybody, look, I've got this role. This is factually what's happened. And I'm not part of this organization anymore. I told the head of HR at it was a multinational company. I said, because they brought me in for a meeting, they wanted an exit interview. Why am I leaving? I said, well, look, you don't invest time in people who want to do good within this construct of a company. Like within this framework, you don't actually you don't invest, you don't promote. If people have initiative, you don't want that. You want people to stay exactly where they are, so they can just keep everything going.
Rolling the business model. Turning over.
Yeah. I told I'm out, and then
where'd you go from there?
Well, where'd I go from there? I founded Giovanni Portelli Photography. Went to the Parramatta Services New South Wales, or was it
Chamber of Commerce?
Yeah, no. I think it was like Services New South Wales in Parramatta.
Yes.
Registered the business name Giovanni Portelli Photography. Took a photo of myself with the form, and and that was it. Like the business formally was created. I've been photographing since I was 10.
And then it just took off.
Well, no, it doesn't just take off.
Okay.
Because when you start your own business, George,
yes,
not everything happens instantaneously.
Yes. Tell you about it.
Yeah. You got to grind. You got to work hard.
You have to work hard, especially the first year. The first year is the grinding. There's no consistent income. As an entrepreneur myself,
exactly.
And then you start to incrementally build it, and then
that's exactly
it takes time. It takes time.
The whole thing, the whole system, like if you're developing your own thing, you've got to put yourself into that 100%.
Yeah.
And for the first 9 months, it wasn't easy. There's no cash flow at all.
Yeah.
So my wife's business is Lebanese bread.
Oh, Lebanese bread.
Yeah. So for I think for 9 months, I was delivering Lebanese bread from 4 a.m. in the morning. Yeah, hubbers. Yeah, I speak your language.
Yes. Say it again.
Hubbers.
No, you got to give it the
No. I'm speaking 100% Arabic right now. It's hubbers. So
you were delivering Lebanese bread from 4 a.m.
From 4 a.m. to midday, I was delivering Lebanese bread, and because I'd been so my wife's...
Big shout out to your wife, though.
Canterbury Lebanese Bakery.
Big shout out to
Formerly known as Baalbek Bakery.
Baalbek Bakery. That was the bread.
Bakery.
That was actually the bread I grew up eating. We'd pick it up after school. After going to a Lebanese Maronite school for 13 years.
That's it.
We'd pick it up there.
That's it. Well, I was doing. There were some schools that I was delivering. Like
Excellent.
90 or 120 packets to.
So that was your cash flow source.
Yeah, that was just for the mornings.
Yeah.
And then at nights, I'm photographing.
Business. Exactly.
Photographing events. Because 2013, there's still church things happening.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
that whole World Youth Day energy, the whole Catholic energy was still going on. So so in the morning I was awake from 4.
Then you had Australian Catholic Youth Festival. I was there in 2013.
Yeah. Amazing stuff.
Yeah, it was a great event.
Amazing.
You were there in Melbourne.
No.
You weren't at that one.
I wasn't at that one. I was
ones.
photographing to ACYF Sydney.
Yes, that one.
18,000 people.
Yeah.
Incredible. So from so it was after about 9 months I had to what was it? It wasn't resign. What was the word? I had to, like, when you finish from a job. No, I was now
Redundant.
No. It's the I had a
Retire.
goal. Yes, retire.
Retire from that job.
I had to retire from Hubbard's delivery because my mission was, George. My mission was to deliver the Hubbers to the most Islamic stores.
Yes.
In Lakemba, Greenacre, Marylands.
Yes.
Bankstown, Auburn, Lidcombe, Granville. So I was delivering Lebanese bread to the most Islamic stores. Yeah. So, because I didn't speak any Arabic.
You didn't speak any Arabic?
Yeah, I spoke 3 words. Hubbers, Asma, Humstash.
Yeah.
Abiyad.
Yeah, Abiyad. There you go.
That's all you need.
So white bread, whole meal.
Yeah, white bread, whole meal, 15, because that's 15 in a crate.
Yeah.
So I needed like a character.
Yeah.
To deliver Lebanese bread. The character was tactical. So I was dressed.
Now we're really getting some perspective.
Yeah.
The organic development of your branding, of Giovanni Portelli photography branding. There you go.
So I was dressing as a tactical, like, special forces, all black, tactical cargo pants, a vest, tactical vest.
That's right.
Patches, sunglasses, tactical gloves, black shirt, same black shirts.
Yeah.
Basically this was it. Tactical shoes, boots. And come in, Hubbers, Humstash. Yeah, boom. There you go. That's it. Because that's all they understood. Oh, he looks like he's just jumped off an aeroplane out of a Black Hawk. When I retired from, they had no idea what to make of it. They were guessing my nationality. Oh, are you Indian? Are you Chinese? Are you Mexican? Are you? They could never guess that I was Italian Filipino. Like, I'd never take my
Your father's Italian, your mother's of Filipino descent.
Yeah.
But you're an honorary Lebanese person now.
Honorary Maronite.
You're an honorary Maronite.
I'm an honorary few things, actually, but So when I retired from delivering bread, that's when my photography was really taking off. It was about 2013, 2014.
That's perfect. Yeah.
And my first assignment for the Catholic Weekly was photographing. I think it might have been actually. It was with editor Kerry Myers, and it's photographing the Vietnamese donations. Mm-hmm. The Vietnamese Catholics donating money to Domus Australia. Mm-hmm. So Cardinal Pell was receiving money from the Vietnamese Australian Vietnamese
Yes,
contingent.
to build Damas Australia.
To build Damas
So you
Australia.
started taking photos there, and it kept developing and growing over the years.
Oh, yeah.
And that's where we sort of met in 2013, in
Exactly.
2014.
Exactly.
At all the events, you had AXA, you had
All these
the
events
Catholic
were coming
Society,
up online. They
the
were
balls, harbour
maturing. They were all
cruises.
maturing to like this whole Sydney Catholic scene, like a really mature. Like it was still growing, but
Which is great because it brings that sense of community, it brings that social aspect
the word community
to your faith.
George just doesn't do what happened justice because it was like a multidisciplinary, cohesive collection of friendships, relationships,
Initiatives, processions,
processions,
Incense.
protests.
You had some of the UCID ones, all our processions.
Yeah.
Lots of incense there.
Lots of incense going along. All these events were really like were maturing into like from really amateur level stuff into
To create identity. That's sort of
totally.
because you want that personal identity and that community identity to the people of God.
To be able to, so I'd go along photographing these things. I'd get commissioned by the Catholic Weekly, or I'd tip off the Catholic Weekly. Something's happening, something's going down, there's going to be a procession through here, there's a protest happening there. Great, Gio.
You're the eyes and ears.
Yeah. I still do it to this very
So
day.
your tactical elements.
Well, you're
on the ball.
Yeah.
You're on the ball.
Well, you sort of do need to be.
Yeah.
It is. There's a lot of intel. Yeah, there's a lot of intel gathering.
Yeah.
You got to know. When you get to know people and you get to know what people do, you discover that there are different groupings around Sydney.
Excellent.
There are things that bring everyone together. There are some things that keep people different. You get to learn different language groups. There are different language groups.
Let's go in and speak about 3 practical tools for people who are maybe Catholic photographers capturing sacred events. How do you personally sanctify yourself through your work, through capturing these sacred events? And how can people take action with as photographers in these great things of faith?
Well,
that both inspire and help us to come closer to God.
Yeah. Okay, so one of the things I do, before I begin work, is I actually pray about it.
Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah, I actually pray.
You prayed about my proposal.
Well, what I pray about is I pray that my work is going to do good. Mm-hmm. I pray that everything's going to work operationally.
Yeah.
But I also pray that that the work that I do is going to inspire. It's going to do what it needs to do. It's going to lead people closer towards God.
Yeah.
The cameras themselves are just tools for an initiative.
Yes. The means.
No one ever asked Michelangelo what brand of chisels he used. Mm-hmm. And so for me, whether it's this or that.
Let's go to practical tool number 2. Let's.
Well, look, I'd say, apart from praying about your work, the other practical thing that I'd advise people is, when you're there, try to be in the moment as well. Mm-hmm. When I'm photographing sacraments, when I'm photographing life-changing events, that's refreshing. That re-energizes my faith as well.
Yeah.
Photographing ordinations, photographing weddings, photographing vocations.
Yeah.
I'll usually tell whoever just got ordained or whoever just got married, that was amazing. I feel energized.
And you bring a vibe. A vibe comes with Giovanni Portelli photography. Whatever the event, you bring the vibe. You bring that energy.
I often feel, like almost always, I feel that my own faith is re-energized. Like when I'm photographing ordinations and the Archbishop is is giving the instructions to the ordained, or at a wedding, and the priest is giving the homily, a very instructive homily.
Yeah.
I hear that speech directly to me as well.
That's phenomenal.
And it's energizing, it's rejuvenating, it's a fantastic refresher, and it keeps me grounded in what's going on here.
Yeah.
It keeps me attuned to my faith, to my beliefs, and imagine if you just if you had the opportunity to go to all these things.
Yeah.
What could you get? What could you get out of it? But more importantly, what is given at each of these events? What's given at an ordination? What's given at confirmation? What is given at First Holy Communion?
And you're there.
Not just that I'm there, but I'm also receiving these graces as well. It's
absolutely phenomenal. It's absolutely phenomenal.
It's like there's nothing quite like it. Just to ride this wave of
events and
of sacraments, of ordinations, of weddings, of important life events for people, for the Church in Australia. Photographing catechumens, for instance, is just phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like these people have gone from, at one point were just like me, wanting to learn everything there is to know, and
it's absolutely amazing. And before we wrap up, let's go into the third practical tool, number 3.
Gosh, look, the last thing I could possibly say, George, as a practical tool is, just if you're given a talent, don't waste it. My father told me, way before I did photography, that if I was going to do anything, just be the best at it.
Yes.
Be the best at whatever it is that you want to be.
Be the best at what you choose to be in life.
Whatever you're going to do, just be the best at it. I've taken that, and this is now my chosen profession. And if you're able to apply yourself in this particular way, and see that the work that you do isn't like some sort of Instagram moment. It's not like a TikTok 10-second, thing. What you're the images that
it's a vocation.
Yeah, the images that I'll create will go far beyond this single event. It's going to go way over. I usually think about how what are people in 100 years' time going to look back at.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the sort of legacy that I want.
That's absolutely very, very inspiring. And where can people find you?
I can be found on Facebook, Instagram.
What's your website?
The internet at giovanniportelli.com.au.
Excellent. And I highly recommend you check out Giovanni for your event, wedding, functional, especially faith-based events. So thank you so much for being with me here on the Catholic Toolbox. And one final
look at that.
Sword boom. Thank you for tuning in to the Catholic Toolbox, the art of practical Catholicism. I'm your host and founder, George Manassa. Until next week, God bless, take care, and take action. In this era of grave spiritual crisis, it is not enough to simply know about your Catholic faith. That is why we need a Catholic toolbox to equip us with the practical skills necessary to live our Catholic faith to reach our ultimate goal, which is heaven for all eternity. Do not merely listen to the word and so deceive yourselves. Do what it says. Join us every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. for the Catholic Toolbox as we hand you the tools to go forth, live the faith, and change our modern world today. Live on the Voice of Charity.